Darkeden is a free-to-play MMORPG computer game in isometric projection or 3/4 perspective, developed and published by SOFTON. It is the first MMORPG in the horror genre. The game revolves around the everlasting war between humans and vampires in a region called Helea, located in a fictional country of Eastern Europe known as Eslania. The original version of the game and the most advanced one is the Korean one, from which several other versions have been derived from, such as the Japanese, Chinese, Thai, and international versions. The Thai version is currently closed. Story: Vlad Tepes, Elizabeth Bathory, and Gilles de Reyes, 3 of the 12 master vampires, form an alliance and enter the mountainous area of Helea, killing every person they find. They then attempt to awaken Lilith, the mother of all vampires, so that they can have her power. Opening her tomb does not awaken her, but it does create a cloud over Helea that blocks the sun, making Helea a dark Eden for vampires. The human world responded by isolating the region and sending in their militaries to try to rid the area of vampires. The master vampires soon discover that the only way to gain the power they seek is to search for the piece of Lilith's soul, which were scattered about the area of Helea. Unwilling to share the power, they break their alliance and begin a civil war. Later, an ancient race of people known as the Ousters awaken from their sleep and are shocked to see what the vampires and humans have done to Helea. They begin to attempt to wipe them from the area. Gameplay: Darkeden is a hack-and-slash game which requires the player to kill hordes of monsters in order to make their character progress. This character progression varies according to the different races, with slayers only having to attack a monster/player to gain experience points, whereas vampires need to kill the monster/player and drink its blood to gain the full extent of the experience points available, while Ousters just have to kill to gain skill points. For the same monster, Ousters gain more experience points out of them than vampires do, even when drinking their blood. This is an aspect of the balance system present in the game between the races, having each a special advantage. The Slayers sell the heads and skulls of monsters, one of the ways to make money in the game, at the highest price to NPCs. Vampires drop the best items out of the 3 races, and the Ousters get experience points the quickest. The power leveling relationship is also present in the game, but only concerns vampires and Ousters. It is frequent that a low-level player, aka Leecher, is power leveled by a high-level player who kills monsters the low level would be incapable of alone, and thus make him or her progress way quicker than they would have alone in another place. The experience points are divided between the members of a party for Ousters and vampires, whereas Slayers get a percentage increase. However, as far as Slayers are concerned, only their attributes, strength, dexterity, and intelligence, rise since they need to use their skills to gain experience points for the next level. This explains why power leveling on the Slayer side is more unusual, especially if the low-level player is of the melee type. Nevertheless, this system of shared experience points within the party shows its limit when high-level players are concerned, although high-level players tend to play alone rather than in groups, as they often get more benefits from that. In the case of Slayers, they can hit the monsters longer and walk less in keeping the loot for themselves, as the loot is simply dropped on the ground and anyone can pick it up. Unlike other MMOs, Darkeden does not compel the players to form groups to be able to survive in dungeons or hostile maps. Indeed, any player at some point or another is able to go on every map available and to survive the legions of monsters there on one's own. The quests are also essentially single-player oriented, such as killing a certain number of monsters under a certain time to get a special item. The only quest that compelled players to form groups was the Family Coins quest, in which players had to form a team of 6 to be able to loot coins from monsters. Darkeden is oriented toward PvP, and offers it in its most brutal form. Except for a few zones, mainly the main camp's castles, players can be attacked without any restriction at any moment by other players. As a consequence, nothing prevents a player having reached the last level of the game from attacking a player that has just started the game. Free-to-play. The game offers the possibility for players to either play for free or buy some points and get some special advantages. According to the different versions of the game, the restrictions for free players varied. In the case of the international server, there was none, as it was completely free and served as a beta version. As far as the Thai version was concerned, free players could only play on the outdoor maps, and were unable to enter dungeons, as well as being unable to wear double options. Once free players receive the lowest experience points of all versions, they can't enter dungeons in some maps like Franco City, and can't access the hotspot of the activity of the game, where all players gather and sell and buy items, Verona. In short, everything is done in the original Korean version and global version to make the free players becoming pay ones after experiencing some aspects of the game.